I'm excited for this season because we have a lot of international players, but I mean, 247 ranked our recruiting class as number 5.
Yeah,
overall.
I saw that, like a top 5.
And from what I heard, they're all players that are going to stay.
A couple years.
That are trying to stay. So, I mean, it's definitely a nice change of pace because
kind of like Villanova, how Villanova kind of did it, where they kept their players. Or Virginia too.
Well,
Virginia recently.
they never have top recruiting classes. When do you ever see them in the top 10 for recruiting?
That's what I was going to argue. Like, that's to say we've had top recruiting classes over the years, and we've been asked. Like, they haven't lived up to what it was.
Well, and then like they're like, I feel like a lot of their recruits are overrated. I mean, Nico Mannion, dude, he had so much
hype,
dude. And I watch him play, and I'm like, dude, he's not that good.
Yeah,
like,
from the jump, dude. From the first game, you're like, he's good, but
I thought Josh Green was better. Tell you the truth.
Yeah,
I think he has the most potential out of all 3 of our potential draftees.
Yeah. What's the other guy's name again?
Zeke was the guy. Yeah, you had no idea it was Josh Green and Nico, and Zeke was leading the team in scoring.
Well, once I went to the Red Blue game, dude, and I saw Najee play, I'm like, oh, dude, this dude's
he's
gonna
be the best player.
Dude. Well, I'm excited about Christian Coloco, dude.
Yeah,
he's gonna be a monster, dude.
And
he needs to work on his offense.
Like Mo Bamba, like just a lengthy, just defensive dude.
He needs to work
aggressive as crap.
He needs to work on his free throws, dude. That Oregon game where we...
No, I know.
Oh, my God. The free throws, because Josh Green missed them, too. I honestly, like, oh, my God.
We had
so many headaches.
Yeah.
But, I honestly, I don't think U of A's deserved... Well, first and foremost, I don't think Sean Miller has deserved a lot of his hate that he's gotten.
You think so?
I don't think so, just because...
A lot of people...
I don't like him at all.
A lot of people,
Why?
A lot of people blame Sean Miller.
He's stubborn as can be. He hasn't
agree.
changed anything. Like, he's old now. He's been here for 10 years. You would think that 10 years like would lead to him getting better, doing. It doesn't seem like he's changing anything. He's kind of an ass too. The refs hate him. He's sweaty as hell every time. Like he yells. He's crazy. Like I don't know.
I would rather have a coach be in the ref's ear than somebody who's not, because I mean, regardless of what you say, it is in the back of the ref's mind. It does work the refs.
But I mean, there was that bounty on Sean Miller, right? That one bounty.
Exactly, with Larry Scott and all that stuff.
Give Sean Miller a technical.
Yeah, well, and then so I do think he is trying to change stuff going with this, with this new route. And actually, in the last couple of years, I do think if you look at his recruiting classes, it's a lot more guard oriented than before. If you look at before, I mean, we had Brandon Ashley, Grant Jarrett, we had
big guys,
Tarzus, all big dudes, and it kind of was, our guards were people that TJ
like
McConnell, transfers, or you know what I mean though. But so now I feel like we're getting more guard oriented, especially with our last recruiting class. We had Nico and whatever. So that was I like that. 2, I think you have to take in the last couple of years. With the whole scandal and whatnot, it's definitely taken a toll.
It definitely has.
Going forward, he's obviously taking a new route, saying, okay, we're going to go international. We're going to build up these players for a few years. And, people say, oh, he hasn't been to a Final Four. The only game I can really remember is just the NCAA tournament, because he's horrible against zone. But
he is. Yeah, the zone.
The Xavier game when we're up by 8.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah, we're up by 8 with 3 minutes to
That's the
go.
One where like the Larry
Markin didn't touch the ball. To me, that I totally blame him. But the thing is, though, is at the end of the game, he manned up and he said that was my bad. But the Wisconsin games, dude, you can't hold that against. You can't hold those
especially
against.
The second one.
Both, dude. Both.
They were wet. Sam Decker, Kaminsky, Nigel Hayes.
Right? Both. I mean, they went I think they went like 8 for 9 from the 3-point
turned
line.
into Michael Jordan.
Was just
and we were winning at halftime in both games. Both games. But you can't. To me, you can't put those because
What about the Buffalo game with DeAndre and number one guy in the country? And you get blown out by Buffalo? Sure, it was. You could say bad matchup. They were shooting like crazy. They were just shooting like nuts. But
is that how much does a coach have? How much power does a coach have if you're getting blown out like that? Is that a? It
is on 19-year-olds. Like, they're just college students. Like,
but we were ranked number 2 to start that year, and we went unranked within a month.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's like that team had some serious problems.
Yeah, a lot of potential though. Serious problems.
Hella potential. But if you, that team was hungry. That Buffalo team was hungry. Yeah. They were out talking shit. Lonzo, Raleigh, dude, I feel like they didn't give a shit.
Yeah,
Tell you the truth, the way they played.
Yeah.
I mean, they just seemed dead out. I mean, I think is the team a version of the coach? Yes, but at that same token, it's like how much in that instance against Buffalo. If you're talking about that one game, if you want to talk about the team, okay, but if you're talking about that one game, you could talk about matchups or this and that, but they got blown out.
Yeah, from the jump
there's
too.
Only so much you can attribute that to Sean Miller.
From the
you
jump.
gotta start attributing that to DeAndre. Dude, DeAndre Ayton got.
Yeah. He shouldn't have, yeah.
Exactly. And to me, it's like, that's Sean Miller's fault? No, that's DeAndre Ayton being weak. So, I mean, I'm not like crazy about Sean Miller, but I'm not a hater of Sean Miller because, I mean, from the coaches we had and what he's, you know what I mean, from where we were left off, I think he did pretty good.
He's gone. I mean, he goes to the.
They were spoiled.
To the tournament almost every year
with Lute Olson. Every single year they were going to the tournament. It was never in question that they would go.
But you know, there's actually a lot of similarities between the two coaches. How many years was Lute Olson a coach at U of A before he made his first Final Four or got his first championship? It was a while.
I want to say before his when he got his first Final Four, I want to say he was like 8 years, 8 or 9. Yeah, 8 or 9 seasons.
11 for sure.
But
8 or 9.
But you know what I mean? You're talking about a 2 year. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know how many people at a 7th year, beginning of the 8th year. I mean, even the championship team, dude.
The program was built already for Sean Miller. Lute Olson had garbage, and I guess,
but you're forgetting about the years, the middle years in between. It wasn't. It didn't just go from. It didn't just go from Lute to Sean. Dude, we had some pretty shitty years in between of finding that coach. I mean, and what Sean Miller did at Xavier, dude. I mean, like I said. He has his holes.
He's just stubborn. That's the biggest thing to me is his stubbornness.
System. He has a system, and you play.
Yeah, you can't go.
To me, it's like I don't know why he's so bad at zone. That's the thing that irritates me the worst. It's like
it's a simple 2-3 zone, dude.
Like, dude, it's been your Achilles heel
forever.
You'd think you'd come up with some or build your team around. Or have like a rotation that is like built for
the zone,
for the zone. But
everybody knows that it's the Achilles heel. Everybody knows that it's his weakness, and for whatever reason, it's literally his kryptonite. Like he can't get over it. Teams know that. Teams will specifically that don't play zone against other teams. They'll play zone against us just because they know that for whatever reason we don't know what to do, and it shows. But his stubbornness. Like I think of good coaches like almost adapting their system to their players. And Sean Miller's the opposite, where Sean Miller wants the players to adapt to his system, and that's where kind of the stubbornness comes, and that's where kind of where people are.
I mean, but things like that work. I mean, look at Virginia, dude.
Yeah, I mean,
you know what I mean?
Like it works.
These systems. I mean, it's just to me, it's just.
I mean, he's a winning. Like he's won like 75% of his games. Like you can't knock him that. But when it push comes to shove, it's under pressure in the NCAA tournament. I mean, he's gotten to a couple of Elite Eights, right?
He was one Jamel Horn shot from making it to the Final Four.
In his second year, first year?
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? I think you need to give him so the first, 6 years were great. Yeah. You know, we had the Wisconsin games. They could have gone either way. You know, once we lost to Xavier when we had Larry Markin, I think that's when we started going downhill. So I think we need to give him a little bit more credit. Yeah. And, if in the next 2 or 3 years, if it still keeps going down, it's like, okay. But I think we do need to, reminisce saying, we were one Jamel Horn shot away, you know what I mean? And didn't he shoot twice? Didn't Kevin Parham grab that rebound?
Yeah.
I think
and then
the
Nick
shots.
Johnson one right against Wisconsin.
That was a bullshit call, dude.
Well, so that was, but Nick Johnson didn't even get that shot off in time. Or he didn't even shoot the three. He had an open three, and then he drove in. Yep. And I'm like, dude, shoot the fucking ball.
And even before then, right, he got the offensive foul, right, where it was like that push.
And then they gave it back to us on some BS. But I mean, dude, we had Rondé and Aaron Gordon right there, dude, for the tip-off.
That's a good point. I remember saying that, like, Rondé, Aaron was right there, and as soon as he heard the whistle, he stopped. Like, he didn't.
Well, and, like, if you look at, I mean, like, the refs are one thing, but Nigel Hayes in that game hooks
I know.
all game.
Yep. No call.
All game, dude. And, like, oh, my gosh. Like, I remember Sam Decker had a few banks.
Yeah.
Threes, and I'm just like, dude, like,
you got lucky on those. Got lucky.
Yeah, dude, and you know what I mean. So we had three times where those games could have gone either way.
Yeah,
because I mean, nobody knew Wisconsin was gonna. You know what I mean?
Know, right?
3 times we were half away, even right there from getting to the Final Four.
A couple minutes away.
Probably with Derek Williams, I think I can't remember who Connecticut faced in the Final Four, but in the championship, I think they played freaking Butler. It was Butler and someone else who they played.
Was it the Kemba
No,
Walker?
I think it was. I think they played Florida.
Kemba Walker?
It was Butler. Nah, it was straight up Butler. It was.
Oh, I
No,
think
Butler was- I think that
lost
was a little
to
before.
Duke, right? The Gordon Hayward.
That
one?
was 11. I think Butler was in 08 and 09. They went back to back. I think it was
Nah, 08, 09 is like Florida and like Mario
06,
Chalmers.
07, and 0.
Mario Chalmers went to Kansas.
That's like 08 is like Kansas, dude. I want to say that it was Butler. I can't remember.
Butler against who? Who was it? Who were you talking about?
Connecticut.
Against
Butler against
UConn, against Kemba Walker's UConn.
Yes.
Butler against Kemba Walker's UConn in what year?
In 2011.
it was.
Uh-huh. So I don't know who they played in the Final Four, but you're right. Like, let's say one shot away from maybe winning the national championship. Like,
Well, and then too, if you look at
Eric Williams, dude, that year was they whomped
where they
Duke,
beat Duke.
dude.
Yeah, I remember that, dude. That was probably
Whomped,
my
dude.
favorite
They were
game.
crying, dude. The Duke players were crying.
well, the first year we faced Wisconsin, we had Aaron Gordon.
Yeah, that was the
Dude,
TJ McConnell.
that was our year, and
Rondé.
people discredit him, dude.
And
We were
without
number
Brandon
one
Ashley,
we were number one ranked in the country until late February, dude.
until Brandon Ashley busted
Against
his
Cal.
ass.
time.
Against Cal.
Yep,
I
and then we
remember it
lost
too.
that
It was the
game.
game he got injured.
He got
That
injured,
game.
and then we lost that game.
And then we lost to ASU like right
And
after too.
Valentine's Day,
So
like, a
yeah,
couple
so
games
I mean,
after.
you look at that tournament, it's like, dude, if we had Brandon Ashley, we were easily the number one team in the
yeah.
nation.
Everybody
we
was
played that
already
tournament
saying-
without our starting power forward,
Yep.
and
And
he
was
spaced the
this
floor
close.
great because he was a power forward, dude. His
could
mid range
shoot.
was
Who would have
nasty.
been on Kaminsky? I
Yeah,
probably
he
would
could
have been
shoot.
Ashley,
He
dude.
could shoot. Brandon Ashley definitely had a mid range. Like you felt confident. Like whenever he had in the mid range and he was putting up a shot, you were like confident that he was going to make it.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I just think I think people forget this about Sean Miller, and like I said,
There's a lot of different factors, you know.
Like I said, has the last few years been shitty? Yes, but I think it also has to do with the scandal, and I think the scandal in itself is pretty ridiculous. I mean, they say they have Sean Miller. ESPN comes out saying they have Sean Miller on wiretap,
Yeah.
and okay, where they've been saying
Yeah,
that for
nothing
over 2
comes
years.
out.
Over
Nothing
2
has
years,
came out.
nobody said. I mean, no, it's. Am I saying that U of A is innocent? Hell no.
Yeah,
Hell no.
I don't
I think it's pretty
anybody's
obvious.
innocent.
Everybody, but this is my logic. So people are coming out scrutinizing U of A for cheating when a lot of times their college basketball teams. It's
Zion, it
it's-
just came out, dude. That whole Zion thing, and Duke is prestigious, and Mike Krzyzewski is such an elite guy. He's so perfect. He's not cheating, and
Well, even before that, yeah, that's a great point. But even before that, my logic was, okay, so who were the big players that got in trouble? It was
Yeah.
U of A, USC, Miami, and I think LSU.
Alabama, like Colin Sexton,
Alabama, yeah, Colin Sexton was
LSU,
thrown in
yeah,
there.
I think
too, got
LSU.
fired.
I think LSU too.
Louisville,
But
of course.
it's like okay, look at it. U of A out of all those teams easily gets the most.
was the poster boy. Like we were the poster boy.
For sure. Miller
But if
was
you
that.
look at it, so out of all those 5 teams we listed, U of A easily gets the highest recruits out of that. Okay.
Yep.
Why, if only those teams are paying those recruits, why wouldn't all those schools have top-notch recruiting classes?
Exactly,
Why,
yeah.
why you think that, all these high number, Kentucky recruits, Duke recruits aren't going to go to other programs that are willing to pay them, especially because, like Kelly Oubre or something like that, where they're facing poverty. You know what I mean? They're offering you $150,000.
I'm gonna go to Duke just because it's Duke,
Because
while
it's
this
Duke.
other school is giving me a house.
So it's just like, okay, but it's pretty obvious that it's not just this. Like I said, I'm not saying that we're innocent by far, but you would see if that were the case, if it was only those schools, you would be seeing every single top recruit divided between those 5 teams equally. But it's not. The only one really out of those that were getting top recruits was U of A.
Yeah.
And even then, they were getting beat out by Duke and Kentucky.
Exactly.
And it's like,
you mean
or
to tell
Kansas,
me that,
you know what
that
I
I
mean?
can go to Arizona, get a house over here at Arizona, but no, I'm gonna go to Duke just because of the just because of the name on the jersey.
Because
like,
of
that's
Coach
it.
K, it
It doesn't. Yeah.
It's like you
Money's the
said, it's a
bottom
culture.
line.
It's a culture, and if the schools don't do it, they're gonna get left behind.
Yep.
I think that's why you're seeing more and more stuff come out.
And I will give him credit, dude. I liked Sean Miller's response to all that stuff, straight up. And then the next game, ESPN, you remember, all of it came out, and then we played Oregon, I want to say, and he didn't coach that game. He wasn't suspended or anything, but the U of A just felt like it wasn't the right decision to have him coach after it just blew up in his face. And then the next game he came back, he had this press conference. You remember, he just roasted ESPN, just called them straight up. Didn't say it directly, but he was basically insinuating that it was all fake. And then the next game, all the U of A students in the section had ESPN is fake news. It was beautiful. Like, I liked that because it was just, instead, you never admit guilt. That's the number. Never do it. Doesn't matter, especially to the public. Never admit guilt, even if you did do it.
See, I disagree. To me, like I said, I like to own up to shit.
Yeah.
So it's
take
like
responsibility.
If I got caught red-handed, be like,
but
you know what I mean?
In the court of like law, like you just never, even if you did completely.
It depends on what it is. I mean, it depends on what the sentences. I mean, if I'm Book facing the prison, it's like well, it depends. I mean, you know what I mean? I don't know. Yeah. It's a sticky
Yeah, because Book
situation.
Richardson, is he in jail right now?
No,
he's not, dude. I'm pretty sure he like talked or something. And
really?
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know, but I think he's.
Yeah, because he was one of the guys, like, his name was going around. He's the assistant coach, and he was one of the guys. I think he was facing prison time.
Sport agent guy, the guy who was doing
Richard Dawkins?
Yeah, that sounds
Christian
very Dawkins.
Dawkins.
Christian Dawkins.
There it is.
Yeah, there you go.
That guy was like the ringleader or something, and he was the one who was in contact.
Was he the Adidas executive?
Well, that's the thing that doesn't make sense. It's like Arizona's a Nike school.
Yeah.
Why? Like, you know what I mean? Why? It's, I don't know. It's all of it's, you know what I mean? All of it is.
And it's been years, dude.
Yeah, and nothing's come out. And ESPN hasn't retracted that statement, or you know what I mean? It's like, that killed our recruits because I mean,
Sharif O'Neal.
I mean, granted, the recruits ended up like looking out like they weren't really that good anyways. Like Sharif O'Neal.
Yeah, Sharif O'Neal really.
What is it? Nas Little. You had that one point guard who went to Villanova but then transferred.
Oh yeah, I know exactly the jelly guy. What's his name? I think I know exactly.
Yeah, Jelly. There you go.
I know what you're talking about. He's a small guy.
Yeah, but I mean
he looked good, right?
Yeah.
In hindsight,
In hindsight, I think for U of A fans, I think you need to say, I think you need to give Sean Miller another chance. I think he's, like I said, the first 6-7 years were great. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The last few years, I've been shitty, but I mean, it's not. I mean, look at what's been going down. You know what I mean? With
Chase Jeter was our best player like a couple years ago on that team. Or who was it? I think it was Chase Jeter.
It was Acott, right?
Acott. No,
Brandon
it was
Randolph
before Nico.
Randolph.
Well, Randolph. Yeah, we had Randolph. It was Chase Jeter.
Acott.
But I mean, that was the year. I mean, you can 100% contribute that to that ESPN article because we lost all of our recruits that year. So he had to.
Luckily, Brandon Williams.
Yeah, you know what I mean. He had to do some last minute shuffling, and the fact that we got the class that we did.
Ryan Luther, right? Ryan Luther. That was the year Ryan Luther was on the team.
Yeah. There you go. I mean, but you know what I mean. The fact that he was able to do stuff on such short notice, I commended him. And yeah, we sucked that season, but we were still okay. Like, you know what I mean. We weren't last in the Pac-12. Like, how many other teams would have had that same season had they lost all their recruits and all their stuff? Yeah, and that was the year we'd lost our whole starting five.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like we had lost our whole starting five. We just lost all our recruits, and we still ended up. I forgot. I don't.
Yeah, probably
we were like middle in the pack.
That's what I was about to say.
But that's pretty damn good if you ask me.
Considering,
you know what, I mean? Considering what
happened.
happened. Yeah, and then last year just was shit. And you know what I mean? It was. But even if it was, I'm kind of glad it was shit because we didn't have the NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
So I would have been pissed if we were like super good. I mean. Our hearts out to all the freaking players out there, man. That didn't get to, but
they work so hard, and then the March Madness gets canceled. And
it's So I mean, I have faith in Sean Miller. I think he'll get the job, and if he doesn't in the next 2 or 3 years, I think for sure we need to get rid of him.
What do you think about paying players? What were you gonna say, Dave?
I was gonna say, like, if you're a Sean Miller guy, then did you see Jason Terry just got hired?
I did.
So. I mean,
I think that's dope.
Like,
I know.
Let's say right now on the spot, you just fire Sean Miller. Jason Terry's the new coach.
No, where is he coached?
Nowhere, but I don't know.
You know what I mean? It's like It's like just because somebody's a good. You want Dennis Rodman? You want Dennis Rodman as a coach?
Person.
Do you want?
Doesn't hurt too that he's like a black guy too, and he's going to all like what you were saying, poverty, like a guy who understands more, who goes like, let's say I'm saying if I had a kid who was playing basketball, who would I want to come over and recruit, like Sean Miller or Jason Terry? Like Jason Terry is definitely a lot more pretty.
Yeah, but I mean, we never seen him coach. So if say he's our assistant coach for a couple years, and then Sean Miller's still doing ass, but we notice that Terry was doing something. I would be 100% for
going into Jason Terry. But you're saying so like right now you wouldn't want Jason Terry or just because he hasn't proven himself.
If I were a lower level university and our U of A program wasn't so prestigious, we're in a down year. I would take the risk. But you know what I mean? Imagine you hire Jason Terry and you know what I mean? What if we go bottom of the Pac-12? You know what I mean? That's a big risk for somebody that's never, from my knowledge, has coached. 18 years in the league, one of the greatest 3-point. He has the making. He could potentially have the makings of a good coach, but you don't know that until he coaches.
Right.
I mean, and I think this is why he's trying to get his coaching career started.
And he was the most vocal when everything went down for the scandals. Like I remember him like straight up saying, "Oh, Sean Miller's an outsider. We should get rid of him. Hire somebody on the inside. Like we shouldn't have Sean Miller here." So it almost makes me think, and I think you mentioned it, David, where it was like it wasn't really Sean Miller's decision to hire him on the team.
Well, it's a great publicity thing too. You know what I mean?
Especially it attracts a lot of like people and
and then like with recruits, you know what I mean? If Jason Terry's coming in my front door, that's badass. You know what I mean? The player who not only is he recruiting me, but he's recruiting me for the school that he went to
and won a championship.
It's like okay, maybe this school, that was over 20 years ago. Maybe this school has something to offer. If this dude is still, is still active, still vocal, and took a job wanting to, you know what I mean? To me, like that's, and I think eventually, like I said, I'm not closing the door on Jason Terry eventually being it. I just think, give Sean Miller those extra 2 or 3 years. If things don't work out, then promote him. And then, you know what I mean? Yeah. I just think, especially with this, I'm interested to see what Sean Miller is going to do with this new crop. I don't think we should expect us to be like high
Final Four.
Next year, but the year after maybe. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because players still got to develop. Like Koloko, like you said, like it's definitely interesting to see Christian Koloko.
Like Williams is gone, right? Brandon Williams is gone, right? Like
he transferred? Did he?
No.
I know that he was hurt last year.
He was considering not coming back because he had something with his knee or something. I hadn't heard anything about transferring.
Right, because he was hurt all season. He was probably one of our best players.
I don't see him transferring either because I follow him on Twitter and he's very
like Arizona because he committed to Arizona. Then that scandal came out and then he decommitted, but then he recommitted
almost
again.
like 2 weeks ago later.
Yeah. So it wasn't. Yeah, so
he's already gone through all that. I don't see him transferring, especially with his injury and stuff.
It seems like, and he really enjoys being here. He really enjoys Arizona.
Yeah, just this article, it says Arizona guard Brandon Williams will definitely play next season. It's just a matter of where.
Who wrote that?
Arizona Desert Storm, SB Nation.
Well, I mean, we'll see. I mean,
you never know.
Yeah, I don't really see him.
So it's up in the air.
Or
just by the.
According to this article, right?
It's just up in the air.
I hope he stays because I think
Me too. Yeah, I really like how he plays. I like Brandon Williams a lot.